Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. I tell you, it's important, as you develop your business, to think about planning, making sure you're moving in the right direction. Was it failure to plan is planning to fail? And Harvin Consultants and their website, Harvin Harvin consulting.com. They help you navigate from such disasters, and delighted to be able to spend some time today with one of the leaders of that organization, Barry Herbert. Welcome to the program, Barry.
Thank you.
Kind of give us an overview of what your firm's all about.
Well, Harvin Consulting is a small strategic management consulting firm, and we service both private sector, government, and nonprofit in terms of administrative needs, project management, also CFO-related concerns in terms of funding, any type of accounting-type needs that an organization has. Basically, we start with startups, turnarounds, and even closeouts, depending on where a company has a need in their life cycle.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. How old is the company?
The company is actually, believe it or not, we're 3 years old, but my partner and I have a collective over 40-year experience in the C-suite level in terms of managing all of the forenamed different agencies or different types of organizations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting. You divided it up into nonprofits, for-profits, businesses, and government. Kind of give us a breakdown, pie-wise, if you will, of the percentages of each.
Well, right now, the percentage, largest percentage right now is in the nonprofit space, considering the fact that we're out of Columbia, Maryland, which is in between Baltimore and Washington, D.C., and we service a lot of the D.C. Nonprofit industry, but we do have at least 5 or 6 startups that we are working with right now, and we are partnered with several venture capital organizations as well.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. I love that area, by the way. Columbia, Maryland is really, well, Maryland's beautiful. I lived in a part that was less beautiful, but still, you're so close to everything. I worked in D.C. and lived in Hyattsville.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not that far away.
Not really, no. We used to go to, if we wanted to go to the nice mall, we'd head out to Columbia, Maryland. And that mall was relatively new back in the 80s when we used to go to it. And really a beautiful mall. Love that area, gorgeous area. So a big percentage, and would that be one of the fastest growing parts of your company, the nonprofit arena?
What's that again?
Would the nonprofit arena be one of the fastest growing parts of your business?
I would say right now it is, and basically because it's really spearheaded by my business partner, Calvin Harris. He spent a lot of years with really noted nonprofits like the UN Foundation. He was a control at NeighborWorks. So he has a real niche in terms of understanding nonprofits, not to mention that for whatever reason, in this particular area, you have your well-to-do or affluent people, you have athletes, you have entertainers, and a lot of them are starting nonprofits as well as a lot of community-based nonprofits. So there seems to be an uptick in terms of people, wanting to or actually starting nonprofits.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. And so, and what would you say is driving that right now? Is that because of the economy and people see a huge need, or what would you say are some of the drivers for that?
I think a lot of it, to be honest, is a mixture. I think that there's right now a big need because of the economy, but also I think there's some people misusing, the whole nonprofit, marker in terms of trying to get tax write-offs and.
So you think there's some abuse?
Exactly. Yeah. There's it's not to pinpoint any in particular type of person, but a lot of athletes. It seems like it's in vogue now to have a nonprofit. Whether it actually provides anything is there's some cases up for debate. Yeah. And there's a lot of churches that are nonprofits as well.
Yeah, no question about that. There are. You know, I always wonder why I get disturbed. You know, to be honest with you, on churches, and I'm a big fan of churches, but I always get bothered by churches that don't pursue 501c3 tax exempt status, where they can talk about whatever they want, because you know you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to have those kind of opinions, but they take your traditional tax status in order to protect themselves. You know, basically, so they don't have to expose how they spend their money, and their church almost becomes like a family business rather than a really viable ministry, and that's always been one of my frustrations.
I mirror that as well.
Yeah. So let's talk real quickly with a couple of minutes left, because I've been really intrigued looking at your site and what you do. I kind of went a little off path, but talk about what you do in terms of helping for-profit businesses when it comes to business plans.
Well, we get into the business plan aspect when we're asked to come into a particular organization, if they have a problem or if they need to turn around or like I said, even startups or closeouts. The first thing that we want to know is why you are where you are. And a good way to do that is to look at the business plan.
Yeah.
And you have to look at the business plan because, you know, I had a wise mom that told me one time, if you want to do something, write it down. And a lot of businesses, believe it or not, function completely without a business plan. And we usually suggest to our clients that you do a 3 to 5 year business plan. And for existing companies, that should be updated every 3 to 5 years because, you know, it's a living, breathing document. It's not etched in stone, but it's, you know, it's flexible. So we get into it from the aspect on startups. If they're looking for funding, that's the first thing a bank wants to see is your business plan. They want to look at your pro forma. They want to see your management team. They want to review your executive summary. Mm-hmm. And all of those things are key. And unfortunately for us, we've been finding that a lot of people don't understand that they need a business plan until they actually need a business plan.
Yeah, almost cases, until it's too late.
Yes, and a lot of times that's how we end up getting engaged because they'll give us a part of a business plan, or we actually had a client that came to us and said, "Hey, look, I need a business plan done. I've already started it," and when it came down to it, she had actually paid $179 for business plan software. But as you know, I mean, and software is great. I'm not knocking software, but if you don't know what to put in it, then it's just software.
Here, I got to wrap it up. I appreciate the information, and obviously he's a wealth of information. And so what you need to do is you need to check him out over at Harvin, HARVIN Consulting.com. HarvinConsulting.com. You're absolutely right. If you think you're just going to do it with a software without the nuances and that information and the details involved, that only comes with someone with the business expertise that someone like you have, then shame on them. Be careful. Thanks so much, Barry.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here, it shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.